Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of the 107 podcast with myself, Jacob, and my co-host, Ash. We are going to be preeing the Miami Grand Prix, which is kicking off this weekend, which is awesome. We have quite a few different bits and pieces going on, including F1 Academy. So we will actually be releasing a review episode with Karina on the grid for joining us as a guest. As normal, I say normal, it's the second time we've done it, reviewing F1 Academy. Guest host. I almost said host guest, which makes zero sense. Guest host. So the lovely Karina will be back with us on Monday, so keep an eye out for that episode and everything F1 Academy. But, Ash, to kick off, let's see how much you know about Miami.
Oh, I have a quiz for you as well afterwards.
Oh, okay. Well, that was sort of what I was going to do. I was going to ask you 3 questions about Miami.
Yeah.
And let's see how many you get right.
Mine to the end.
Okay, let's see how many.
Bring it up. I wanted to surprise you on the pod.
Okay.
So you have no time to prepare.
Well, I'm looking at some fun facts at the moment, so I hope they don't.
Okay. So for any of the Miami questions, is the answer Adrian Newey?
No, none of those. For my quizzes, we'll get to Mr. Newey at some point soon. Who will be in Miami this weekend? So that should be interesting. Okay, quiz questions. Miami. Let's see how many you get right. Okay. Miami was the what different venue in the US to host a Formula One race? Was it 9th, 10th, 11th, or 12th? Different venue.
So the US. I'm going to say 10th.
Close, 11th. Which is quite a few, to be fair, for the US. That's pretty impressive.
There's COTA. There's obviously Vegas.
Yeah.
Watkins Glen.
The old Vegas as well, technically.
Old Vegas. Caesar's Palace. So Indianapolis they were at, weren't they?
Yeah. There's quite a few, honestly. Like, we've raced at so many different places in the US. And maybe in Chicago. God, no. Okay, next question. So, obviously, they went through loads of different, like, alternate layouts and stuff in Miami Grand Prix, right? How many different layouts did they test before finalizing and locking in on this one?
Oh.
I'm going to give you 3 different answers because this is a really difficult one. Was it 72, 75, or 76?
I'm going to say 76.
75.
God,
I wouldn't have got this right either. There was just... Alrighty. And which driver, technically, is the most successful driver at this track?
At Miami?
Mm-hmm.
Max Verstappen.
Yeah, that was it. That was all I was going to say.
Sounds like I'm just going to give you a point.
Pretty much, yeah. Obviously, Max Verstappen is easily the most successful driver at this race. Was it last year or the year before where he like overtook Sergio? It was the year before where he overtook Sergio within like 20 laps and he started from like 19th or something stupid like that.
Yeah, I think it was last year.
Yeah. But, obviously driving a incredibly dominant car built by Adrian Newey.
Because in the first year, he was fighting
My segue was so good and you ruined it.
I was just trying to remember the first one he was fighting Charles Leclerc. Was it?
Yeah, because it was early on in the season, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then when it came round for the second round of Miami, then he overtook Sergio, and I think that's kind of where it just went. All right, season's over.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Sorry, you segued and I completely ruined it.
Yes, I segued, so that's driven. I forgot what the bloody segue was now. Adrian Newey. Yeah. Adrian Newey's handed his notice in, hasn't he? He's off.
He has handed in his notice in.
He's off. So if you don't know, Adrian Newey has, after maybe like months of rumor about him potentially leaving Red Bull as Chief Technology Officer, I think that's his official job title, something like that.
Chief Technical Officer.
Technical Officer, Technical Technology. I was right, CTO. Anywho, he's now leaving his job. He's handed in his notice, and he hasn't announced what his next steps are going to be. However, of course, as a close friend of the podcast, we wish him best on his next adventure, whatever that may be. But yeah, what do you think is next for Mr. Newey? I have a theory.
I have a theory as well.
Oh, please, the floor is yours.
I think he's going to Ferrari.
You think he's going to Ferrari? Okay.
Also, all my predictions have been wrong, so he probably won't go.
So that means he's not going to Ferrari.
That means he's not going to Ferrari. Whatever I say, bet the house on the opposite.
Yeah, pretty much.
The reason why I think he's going to another Formula One team is because he has this like year's guarding leave, which starts now. And then in the first quarter of 2025, he's free to join another team.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, he was contracted, I think, until the end of this year. And then if he leaves, it would have been a year's gardening leave, and he could have joined another team after that. The fact that he's pushed his contract forward a year, because if he was going to join another team or do another project, I don't really care about pushing my contract out, not being able to work for another team. Because he's said, no, can I do my gardening leave this year and be free to join a team next year in time for the 2026 regulations? That's why I believe he's going to join another Formula One team. Yeah. And I think it's going to be Ferrari for a multitude of reasons. One, to work with Lewis Hamilton. One, because it's Ferrari. And I think three, I think that's like his last dance, right? His, Michael Jordan, that's, game 6, 6 rings, whatever. I think that's where I think he's going to go. And I know pretty much, Aston Martin probably after him, Audi probably after him. Any team will probably, we'll ask him. But that's my theory.
Yeah, I'm thinking he's probably going to Aston Martin. That's my theory.
Okay. Why do you think Aston Martin?
Have you heard of Lawrence Stroll?
I have heard of Mr. Moneybags, yes.
Okay. Have you heard he may or may not have a blank checkbook at the moment?
Okay. I understand that money talks.
It does, yes.
I don't think Adrian Newey is wanting for money.
Let's put it this way. I know that obviously they're going to be paying, they as in Ferrari, are going to be paying a hell of a lot of money for Lewis Hamilton's services next year, right? We know it's a stupid amount of money. Okay. But I feel as though Mr. Stroll might outbid. And it's a very exciting up-and-coming team. I think there might be something there. Or, and this is the other option, is that Newey will essentially be stepping back to maybe even take a year out and work on the hypercar project, potentially.
So he is working on the hypercar.
Yeah, but like fully on, like full focus on the hypercar project, and then come back, after a while. That's the other theory that I have as well. Because it's nearing the end of that sort of like development cycle. Maybe he just wants to fully dedicate himself to that hypercar, and then he'll come back to Formula One once his baby has been born, type thing. That's my other theory.
I think the hypercar's coming out really soon.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Like, he's trying to put like final touches and stuff all over it and make sure that, it is his baby. Or maybe we're going to see a little bit of a delay on that hypercar project, and that's the reason why he needs to dedicate some more time to it.
I mean, he is on guiding leave. He's got all the time in the world.
Yeah, I'm just part of the reason why I'm saying that is purely because part of the pull to Ferrari is that they were going to say, well, you can work on a road car, you can build a road car or whatever it is, you can build a car, you can call it the Newey or something like that. Whatever you want to do, it's yours, it's your baby. But that indicates to me that he has a deep want to build a proper awesome road car, meaning maybe that is why he would go to like finish off this project and see it through properly. And that argument around Ferrari obviously having their hypercar development and stuff like that, and that's another reason why they would want to go, or why Newey would want to go to Ferrari. Guess who also have hypercar production? Aston Martin. So that one ticket that I feel as though Ferrari may have had over other like constructors, where like, oh yeah, you can come in, you can work on F1, and then if you want to, you can do a road car. Aston Martin can also do this and currently do this at the moment as well. So it feels like both is balanced. And then when you offer one person a hell of a lot more money than the other person offers, you might tip towards the one with more money. So that's where my theories are coming from.
The only advantage I see Aston Martin has, apart from the checkbook, is the fact that it's in the UK.
True.
So he wouldn't have to learn Italian. He wouldn't have to move to Italy.
Yeah.
Because obviously they're based in Maranello.
Oh, how awful having to move to Italy. That sounds oh no.
You know what? You say that, right? But like, I don't make any presumptions about him and his wife, but like, you know, they could be settled here and they have I know what you're saying.
I'm taking a piss. I'm saying that Italy is a lovely country.
But like, it does, like, we were talking to a certain F2 driver,
yes,
who mentioned like the glamour of all this travel and all that. It's nothing like what you think it is. The private jets, or that it's quite strenuous. So maybe, you know, like, again, no assumptions. 60 years old, you know, does he want to just up and move away? I don't know, his family, but we're also forgetting about a certain other team that is not going after him, but going after one of his colleagues.
Mercedes?
Yeah. Do you think that Max Verstappen would say, well, if Adrian's going, I might leave as well? I don't know if there's clauses in his contract that.
No,
I think there was a lot of talk saying if Adrian or Christian or someone leaves, he's allowed to back out his contract.
I don't think he will.
Till 2028?
Yeah, 2028. I don't think he will. I did also see that apparently there is also a clause around Helmut Marko leaving that then frees up either Newey and or Max. But then I also saw apparently there was a rumor that one of the things that Mercedes offered Max was a ambassador role for Mercedes, which is the thing that supposedly was a stumbling block for Lewis to sign a new contract with Mercedes. So to offer Max that ambassadorship, genuinely, I would look down on Mercedes if that were the way that they went, if that was the stumbling block for Lewis. To not give Lewis an ambassador role, considering how much he's done for the company, etc., but to give one to Max Verstappen, that doesn't sit right with me. So that's one thing where, you know, on the similar topic, where I think that wouldn't go down very well. And I don't think that now that Newey's gone, somebody's got to fill those boots. So there's actually a big opportunity within Red Bull. So I don't think that maybe the higher-ups just underneath Newey would be tempted to go away if this is their first chance at a big step up within a role.
Yeah. Why do you think he left?
Allegedly.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to say it, but you know exactly what I'm going to think. I'm going to hint at. I did find it very interesting that Christian Horner called Adrian Newey his friend on an Instagram post. If you fancy some fun, go on to Instagram, go to Christian Horner, and look at the comments on that post. That's all I'm going to say. That's a very interesting thing.
Can I read you something?
You want to? Oh, okay. I thought you were going to read me the comments.
No. It's in Christian's book, but this is from Reddit. It's the top comment.
Sure.
It was the top comment. Okay, it's now the second top comment.
Okay.
On the official post of Adrian Newey leaving. No, it's not. That was it. I know it off by heart if I can't find it, because there are so many Adrian Newey posts. Oh wait, is it this one? Because it could be the Christian Horner statement. Okay, here we go. This is from a Reddit post, so I'm not claiming credit that I found.
Yeah,
sure. From Adrian Newey's book. So, favorite story from Newey's book. They were renovating the RBR campus, and they'd closed a section between the main building and the car park. This meant that Adrian had to go for a big detour, but instead of taking that detour, he snuck through the building works every evening. One night, he fell down a big, massive hole, climbed out of it, thought that could have been worse, and carried on. Months later, at the Christmas party at his big end of year speech, Christian turns on the monitor.
Oh
It's
no.
the CCTV of Adrian walking along without a care in the world until that big moment, and down he goes.
Oh my god, I didn't know that. That's quite
I was
funny,
like,
actually.
and so here's the second two comments below that. First is, I need to see this video. And the second one is, release the Horner cut.
Nice.
So I was like, I just imagine like a black and white CCTV footage of like Adrian Newey walking just. I was like, oh.
Ridiculous, honestly. I'd pay good money to watch that as well.
I would, yeah.
But yeah, like I said, I think best of luck to Adrian wherever he goes. Obviously, this is the place to stay up to date on anything Adrian Newey, and definitely not the hundreds of other Formula One based publications. But we'll be chatting about whatever his next moves are. Who knows how long it could take for him to announce where he's going. He is obviously one of the next silly season transfers to turn the silly season wheel. So let's wait and see.
Max's domination means like the Formula One script writers are like, well, we've got to do.
What do we do now? Yeah. No.
Lewis Hamilton to Ferrari. Adrian Newey leaves. That's what we've got to do. Andretti in US Congress.
Yeah, that's actually one of the things I was going to bring up next, because I didn't think you'd want to talk about it because you hate Andretti, you big Andretti hater.
I do not hate Andretti. It's just that whenever it mentions, I'm like, okay, I'm just going to get comfortable and let Jacob go on a 25-minute rant.
But so
I'll be like, I agree. But Andretti is your baby, so
Andretti's not my baby. I am just incredibly, you hear this, Mario, I am incredibly supportive of more drivers, more teams, more cars on the grid. Okay, that's it. That's where I'm coming from. I don't care if it's Andretti, if it's Prema, if it's high tech. I don't mind. Okay, I don't care if the bloke who was looking after Force India is like, you know what, let's run it again. Like, I don't care. I just want to see more cars, more racing. And essentially, the US Congress have written a letter to the Liberty Media CDO, Greg Maffei. I think that's his name. I've never bothered to learn it because I don't like him. Around concerns, they're not doing a particularly good job, let's be honest. Around concerns to do with
the shareholders would disagree with you.
Well, around anti-competitive laws and actions and stuff like that. It's all a bit wordy, but essentially, long story short, the US government have gone meh to F1 saying no, you can't have a seat at the table. So I'm here for it. I'm sat here with popcorn. This is literally breaking news. Like, it happened slightly earlier today. And I'm here for it because I am ready to see what their response is when essentially they will be going against, like, essentially anti-competition laws. And they even, in their letter, they say, under what authority does FOM proceed to reject admission of Andretti Global? What is the rationale for their rejection, especially with respect to their like Andretti and its partner GM potentially being the first American-owned and America-built race team, which is a very good question. And they then mention a law around competitiveness and stuff like that. But essentially, they're just sat there going, "Me." They even mentioned the Concord Agreement at one point, I believe. I don't have the letter in front of me. I have like an article here as well.
I have the letter. Would you like me to find anything?
They mentioned something about Concord Agreement at one point, I believe.
So the wording is, under the Concord Agreement, Formula One's governing document, up to 12 teams can participate. Currently, there are 10 teams competing in Formula One. So
yeah, that was what I saw. I saw it in very teeny tiny text on F1 Coffee Corner, aka Terry's Instagram, and couldn't find it really, really quickly while we were loading everything up for the podcast because I was busy making tea. But yeah, so essentially, the US government have gone, what's going on, lads? Like, well, you say you can have 12 teams. They've given a pretty good like statement and intent. What's the problem? What's going on? You know? So I honestly, anyone and everyone who can help push this through, I am all here for it. I don't know if you saw as well, Ash, but they listed a load of jobs up on LinkedIn a couple of weeks ago as well for their F1 project.
Oh, nice. They are not giving up, are they?
No, they are very, very serious. I believe if you go on to LinkedIn right now, you can even apply for some of these roles as well to be one of the first ever Andretti Formula One employees, I guess.
Yeah, just to let you know, the travel is not as glamorous as it's
No,
made
it's
out
not
to
as
be.
glamorous as it's made out to be. Well, I mean, traveling to Miami doesn't seem too horrible, though, does it, Ash?
You say that, but if you're going to Miami and you're in the garage for 3 days and then you're coming back,
Well, what if your name is Charles Leclerc and you've just bought an apartment in Miami? You can just go home and relax, can't you?
Charles Leclerc, Leclerc.
Yeah. So obviously we should probably talk a bit more Miami because we sort of started off at the beginning. Then you ruined my segue, and then we've been talking Newey and Andretti.
Segue into just one more thing, slightly off topic. Before we get to racing.
This is not quite a segue, but sure, yeah, go on.
Which is yesterday and today were the anniversaries of Roland Ratzenberger and Ayrton Senna's sad passing away.
Yes. It's been like 30 years. I'm not even 30 years old. Like, it's been years and years and years. And I think a couple of things to note off the top of my head, and I would actually like to, maybe during the summer break, do a little bit of a deep dive into why the majority of Formula One drivers consider Ayrton to be the best ever, and why he holds a special place in my heart as well as a fan, and a lot of other fans as well. I'd like to do a little bit more of a deep dive on it, but a couple of things just to take away from it is that although obviously we want better and faster racing and smaller cars and blah, 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 safety has come such a long way since the unfortunate passing of both of these drivers. And I can only thank whoever and everyone who has been responsible for the improvements in safety in Formula One, because it has come leaps and bounds since then.
There's many people, but Sid Watkins is definitely a name that if you're
absolutely,
yeah, look him up.
Yeah,
but also a really horrible crash with Barrichello. I don't know if people actually know about that.
That was bad. Yeah, but I mean, even going backwards, Jackie Stewart. You know, he was a big advocate for even more safety, even before Senna's time. You know, so I mean, like Stewart interviewed Senna multiple times and stuff like that. So like, it's even before Senna was even anywhere near Formula One cars and was in go-karts and stuff like that. So yeah, unbelievable. I would genuinely like to do a little bit more of an in-depth feature, maybe podcast on it at some other time. But yeah, it's been, we've come such a long way since then. It's absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, and it's insane how much of an influence, like, Senna especially still has on the sport even today. It's ridiculous.
Well, Netflix have a series coming out.
They do. Yeah, looking forward to that. I think
if you don't know about Senna, and it's on YouTube. There's a great Top Gear tribute.
Oh yeah, phenomenal.
There's a Senna film which I think is on Prime or some streaming services, but
that rings a
definitely
bell,
watch the Top Gear tribute. It really opens your eyes to
the one with Lewis Hamilton, right?
Yeah.
I think we shared that.
Posted we
shared
posted a little clip.
Like maybe last
the entire
year.
segment with Jeremy Clarkson is very touching, actually.
Absolutely, yeah. And you can see like Lewis Hamilton transform back into a child when he gets the opportunity to drive.
The screams and just like
I mean, he gets the opportunity to, I can quite literally show you, he gets the opportunity to drive this car around Silverstone, which is the dream of, I would imagine, so many different people. Also, if you haven't picked up one of these or seen one of these, this is awesome. It's a little MP4-4
for people who are not watching us on YouTube.
Yeah, I forget we're a podcast. Go and look at lego.com. I don't get any extra money, I promise. And it even comes with a little Ayrton Senna minifig as well, which is very, very cool. And a little like trophy display stand and stuff like that. But yeah, like his influence on the sport is absolutely ridiculous. And yeah, should be celebrated as such.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's sad, but watch some of it. His Monaco qualifying lineup is amazing.
Yeah.
His battles with Alain Prost are. I mean, they made a documentary and a movie about it, but you could just make movie after movie
Oh,
after
yeah.
him and Prost. His battles in Nigel Mansell, his drives in the wet, that iconic yellow helmet, which inspired Lewis for the first few years of his racing career. So yeah, and he was just a great character as well.
Yeah.
You see in the movie some of the stuff, the clashes he had with the race directors, his push for safety, the accident at Spa where he got out of the car. It's just
mad.
He was
mad.
He was someone that transcended their sport. He was like Muhammad Ali.
He even helped Honda develop the NSX.
That's one of the best cars ever.
And then took one out at Suzuka in loafers and set the track alight. It was ridiculous what he was doing with that car at that time as well. It's absolutely ridiculous. So,
and he was quite the prankster. Him and Gerhard Berger had epic prank wars. So, YouTube that. I think there's a podcast with, what's the name of the Eddie Jordan and David Coulthard podcast?
Formula for Success, where they put frogs in there, in each other's rooms, and
they're amended passport.
Destroyed a passport. Oh my god, it's so bad, but very entertaining at the same time. And I do think that if you look at, for example, Niki Lauda, how he hung around the sport for so many years after he retired and stuff like that, and became a mentor and sort of confidant for Mercedes and Lewis Hamilton and stuff like that. I can absolutely see Ayrton doing a similar, if not the same thing, for a Formula One team or multiple Formula One teams at that time. I can imagine him, if he wasn't or hadn't crashed, he would still be.
He's got a road car named after him.
Exactly, yeah. Just absolutely ridiculous. I think one of the more interesting things that did come out of that Formula for Success thing is that Senna was supposed to actually take part ownership of Jordan F1 at one point. That was an offer on the table, which was, I don't know if it was signed, I can't remember the specific details, but he would have become part owner with Eddie Jordan of that team and made it his own, essentially. So I'm also a little bit gutted that would have changed the course of not only that team and the team that is essentially now Alpine, but it would have changed the course of F1 history quite drastically, I think. So and that deal was almost realized. So it's incredibly sad and leaves so many what if questions for sure.
It does, but gotta look back in a way fondly.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
The magic of YouTube and stories, yeah. But definitely have a YouTube marathon of Ayrton Senna.
Oh yeah. If you're gonna do one thing at some point over this weekend, other than watch the Miami Grand Prix, then go and watch some Senna highlights or interviews or whatever it is.
Cool. Miami, segued into Miami Grand Prix.
Miami, yes. I'm gonna talk first off about a very big disappointment with Miami.
Okay.
Ferrari's livery.
You know what? This is where I feel like I was ahead of the game. Right?
Okay, interesting. Let's see where you go with this.
Because when they did the previous liveries, I told you that you're like, it's great. I was like, it's kind of disappointing, and it's only there. And they teased blue wheels, blue wings, HP, all blue overalls, and I was like, I know for a fact this car's going to be red.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I know this car is going to be red. And it's the most disappointing thing ever.
It is properly disappointing.
It doesn't even look that nice.
It doesn't look very good. I don't think it's... The HP logo isn't exactly, the most pretty logo in the world either, so I don't think that helps. Obviously, HP being one of their new sponsors. But, honestly, the car does not look nice.
No, it doesn't. And do you know what the annoying thing is? I don't know why they do that, because Ferrari's brand is worldwide ingrained. Everyone knows Ferrari's red, right? Many people buy Ferraris that are not red, blue, yellow, green, black, white, silver, grey. they could have gone for one race. Just go blue.
Oh,
They've
easily,
done it.
easily, just gone
It's a
blue for one
historic
race.
colour. But I don't know what powers that be said. No, we're just keeping it red with a little hints of blue.
Yeah, I can see lots of comments on F1's Instagram. Like, for example, I think they forgot it was supposed to be blue.
Is it Instagram? Because Instagram comments
Instagram
are wild.
comments are insane at the moment. It's amazing. All these facilities, and you make a piece of crap like this. But I quite like that one. That was pretty good. It was hard to make it that bad. Oh god, this one's quite bad. Enzo is not turning in his grave; he's rolling in it. That's quite bad. This is so cringe. Definition of false hope. Am I the only one who loves the car too? And it has like one like. Yeah, horrible. Sorry guys, but that is a very ugly car. It just is. I'm so sorry. Yeah, that's not very nice. The merch looks nice. Besides the hat stinks because it's
why the merch looks nice?
Thread. Because it's all fucking blue. That might be why, Ash.
Exactly. That's why the merch looks nice.
Honest to God, you didn't have to do this to it. Like, yeah, you've murdered him.
And
what was worse? What was worse? Here we go. Alpine's launch or this?
This, and I'll tell you why.
Oh, okay, please.
I'll tell you, they hyped it up so much.
They did.
Here's the drivers wearing all blue. Here's little livery pictures. The historic Ferrari have worn blue. Look at Niki Lauda. Look at the mechanics and all that. And it's just like, what? What is this?
Yeah.
What is this? At least like the McDonald's one looked nice.
God damn it! I liked that livery. I wore the shirt. I wore the Le Mans style shirt like 2 days ago as well.
The best one was the Vegas livery.
Yeah, the Vegas one was very good. Yeah, with the white. Yeah,
that
I do
was
really
so
like
nice.
That. But Ferrari have fumbled the bag massively. They've massively fumbled the bag that we were expecting.
Some really nice blue Ferrari
colours. Oh, 100%. We were expecting McLaren X Golf levels of beauty, and it is.
I'm looking at the picture right now.
It's not very nice.
And so they've got the papaya in there, right? They've got the papaya, because it's Golf and it's orange. We call it.
Oh right, Golf. I was like, wait, what? I'm so confused.
Yeah,
why would the Ferrari have papaya?
They've still got their brand colours in there.
Yeah,
but it's majority blue.
They could have, obviously Ferrari is red, right? But it has hints of yellow in it as well. You could have had blue and yellow.
Well, the race cars are supposed to be yellow.
You could have easily had all blue with some yellow highlights and stuff like that. Because yellow is also a very Miami color too.
So,
anywho, I think they're the only ones with a special livery this weekend.
Do you know what Ferrari could have done?
Oh God, yeah, go on.
Do you know what they could have done? They could have had a very special one-off blue for this car, and then they could have gone and said to all the Ferrari dealerships, "Oh, this color can be offered to customers. We're going to charge them $100,000 for it." And you know what?
Oh, they'd sell out. Yeah,
people would have bought.
They'd run out of paint.
I'm spending $100,000 for a Formula One color.
Yeah.
Hire me, Ferrari. Hire me.
I will make you so much bloody money, printable money.
Because I'm not going to lie, if I won the lottery or if I made enough money to buy a Ferrari, multiple Ferraris, and I said, "Hey, would you like this amazing blue Formula One color?" I'd be like, "Take my money." The Ferrari, you charm me. If it was an amazing blue, I'd just take.
If I'm having a Ferrari, it's red. Okay. Ferrari has got to be red. Sorry.
That's why you own multiple Ferraris.
Oh yeah, good point. I forgot about that. It's like that. What was the guy? It was like the guy who had 4 or 5 McLaren F1s. He was like a dictator in Asia somewhere. Talk about Miami a little bit. I'm going to Google real quick. What do we think about?
We got a sprint race.
We have sprint race, so that should mix things up a little bit. Maybe double back-to-back sprint race.
Yeah, it's our first race in America, so expect a show. It'll be interesting to see what they do. But I mean, what are we expecting? A Max Verstappen pole on sprint, a pole sprint, a sprint win, a pole, and a race win. I'm not actually gonna. I don't think we should make predictions because McLaren come out and they say, this isn't a track that suits us, and Lando Norris gets sprint pole and a podium in the race. So I think we're looking at a battle probably between Red Bull and Ferrari, with McLaren's close behind and the Astons to follow. Astons and Mercedes, I think, yet to follow.
Yeah, I think you're right. I've Googled and I found things.
Oh,
right?
Gosh. You sound like Jeremy Clarkson. I went on the internet and
I found this information, right? But so, did you know that the Sultan of Brunei purchased 10 of the 106 McLaren F1s produced? 5 road cars, 3 LMs, 1 F1 GT, and 1 F1 GTR. So he bought 10.
No, I did not, but I wouldn't put it past him because he's got an insanely huge car collection.
Yeah.
Which, according to reports, is gathering dust. So I don't know what's going on.
So I think there's one chassis which has never even been seen again. One was wrecked soon after buying in a high-speed accident.
Rowan Atkinson wrecked one.
Yeah, Rowan Atkinson wrecked one.
Jay Leno drives his quite a bit.
Yeah. So chassis 004 was returned to McLaren where it was parted out. The spares were subsequently flown back out to Brunei as inventory for the royal family's remaining fleet. So he crashed it, went back to McLaren, and they were like, yeah, we can't do anything for it. And then sent it back to him and went, well, you might as well keep it for spare parts. So, and also the Brunei had around 2,000 exotic and luxury cars between the mid 1980s and the early 2000s. So I'm not going to talk too much more about this, but I think it was Car Throttle. They did a really interesting video about the 10 cars, because I'm pretty sure one of them has never been seen again. It was sold, and then nothing else happened to it. It's never ever seen the light of day again. So yeah, very interesting stories.
Oh, man. I hope some of these cars do see the light of day.
I hope so, yeah. Other than number 4, which got crashed. But yes, Miami sprint race, and obviously we have F1 Academy back again this weekend.
Cool.
I need to double check what the calendar is for that, when the races are actually as well. But let's be honest, Dorian Pan is probably just gonna completely walk all over the field. And more than likely, Abby Pulling will probably be pushing her. Let's be completely honest.
We'll see.
But who knows? Who knows? Because last time out, there was a big old issue where Dorian Pan took the checkered flag twice, which was such a strange thing to happen, which meant Abby Pulling got the win. Such a really, really strange thing. But I'm trying to find... Yeah, here we go. So there is qualifying on the Saturday, and then a race on the Saturday, and then there is another race on the Sunday before the Grand Prix.
Cool. It'll be nice to watch a race, I think, at
a normal time. Yeah.
I mean, it's evening time, but at least we'll be more awake rather than asleep.
Yeah. I think it's 10 o'clock for me.
Well, I mean, are you going to do a thing where, if Max Verstappen leads at the first corner, you're like, I've got to take Senna for a walk?
No. I
going to watch a whole race.
Definitely won't be doing that.
Do you think Mercedes will bring the version 2.0 of their car that they just recently launched?
Yeah, I saw the leaks of that from New York. It looks pretty fast.
Have you seen how smooth it looks?
I think
it's a shorter wheelbase, which apparently helps.
You know the zero side pod design.
Yeah,
I feel like this is such a revolutionary design change in comparison to zero side pod.
I mean, they had to do something different, right?
Yeah, this is different. I will say this is Jesus Christ. Why don't you explain what on earth we're talking about for those of you who don't know?
So Mercedes and WhatsApp did a promotional event in New York to kind of celebrate WhatsApp's growth.
Which,
in
by the way, was not well advertised at all.
No, considering they were taking a Formula One car. Lewis Hamilton was driving a Formula One car down Fifth Avenue they turned the Empire State Building lights green for WhatsApp. And as part of that, projected onto the Empire State Building was a emoji of their Formula One car.
Very
which
cool.
turns out that they built a real version of it. And you know what? Fair play to them for like posting about it because they know what the comments would be.
Oh yeah, absolutely,
Yeah. So the comments are now, wow, this emoji car, it's so much faster than the 2024 version.
I can send it to you on WhatsApp. I've just sent you it. It's on there. It's live now.
Okay, I'm gonna.
Wow!
Oh my God!
Look at it. That's really cool.
Look at the green.
Yeah, I know. Looks fast.
Oh my days! That's
so
cool.
That's if you
the little things.
It is the little things. But yeah, very cool. Very, very cool.
Well, I'm gonna try and do that. Send that to someone.
We're so easily distracted. But cool. So I didn't know. So I used the WhatsApp emoji thing, like picker thing in the app, right? And then I've gone in and I've found the race car emoji on like my phone. I've got a Pixel. And when even though on Pixel, obviously the image looks completely different. As soon as you put it into WhatsApp, it changes it to the design. Look, I just sent you it again.
So weirdly enough, when you sent it to me and I saw the notification, it was the red car. But now when I went in, it's the black car.
Yeah, when you were only on the app, is it the black
and then when it's in the
car?
app, it's the black car. Okay, let me try and send that to someone and see. Does it work? Does it work?
Let's find out.
Does it work?
We really do.
It does work.
Nice. We really do give podcast listeners such a great listening experience.
We do, don't we?
If you listen to this right now, and if you're not driving, because obviously you have to drive responsibly, go and have a play around with the emoji. Go send it to a loved one or a friend or whatever. I guess a friend is a loved one as well. But just go and send it to someone. Have some fun.
You know what we'll do? Let's put it on the socials.
Sure, let's do that.
I don't think people understand what this car looks like.
It's very interesting. But yes,
I'm gonna send it to you on WhatsApp. Just
yeah, go for it. But yeah, so obviously we have, like I said, Miami. We should probably do. I mean, let's be honest. The race, I'm not thrilled by the race, and I have questioned with Vegas and the potential of Chicago and COTA as well. What niche or what thing Miami actually gives us anymore in the US?
A race on East Coast time.
Yeah, I guess so. But I mean, if you have Chicago, I mean that's East Coast as well. So
I don't think Chicago is going to happen.
I don't want Chicago to happen purely because I don't want 4 US races. I think 3 is the absolute maximum that they should have. However, if they wanted to rotate it out every year, that
I agree with you. Yeah.
So if they did even if they included like classic circuits as well, or maybe they did what could be really cool is if they did like a surprise street circuit. So like a random city in the US, like Atlanta or Washington DC or something like that. Like it's like a mystery street race, and then when they announce the 2025 calendar, that's when they announce we're having a street race in Washington DC. When they announce the 26th calendar, we're having a street race in Atlanta. So they do a new street race or street track every single year. That could be something really fun to do.
I think there's a reason why you haven't been hired by Formula One.
What are you talking about? I said that the guy who's head of FOM was my bestie mate earlier. So,
oh gosh.
I mean, it would be a good way to grow the US market. Let's be honest. Yeah, but please don't do one in New York. I think that would be trash.
No, that would be epic.
Nah, trash. Sorry.
No, that'd be epic.
No, absolutely not.
I
don't want to tarnish the city.
It's Miami. It's max to lose, really.
Yeah, obviously we'll go. Let's do our predictions.
I'm not doing predictions.
Oh no, you've got a quiz for me.
But I do have a quiz for you.
I'm gonna give you my prediction while you have a cheeky little drink. And I'm gonna predict another Red Bull 1-2. Even though they didn't have a 1-2 last year, but I'm just predicting a Red Bull 1-2. And I'm going to go for Charles on the podium with them, and then I'm going to go with, because we'll do top 5, or I'll do top 5. I'm going to go, Max, Sergio, Charles, Lando, Carlos. That's what I'm going to go for. You've got a quiz.
Find out in a few minutes.
Do I need a pen and paper?
Yes, you do.
Okay.
You're gonna want to write this down.
I have sticky notes. Is that allowed?
Yeah, but you might need a few.
Oh, that's fine. I'm ready.
So this came from motorsport.com.
Oh,
so
God.
I'm not sure how accurate this is.
Are you questioning the integrity of motorsport.com? That's a bit rude.
I mean, you never really know when money is involved, right? So,
right.
We have the values of all 10 Formula One teams, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the values from highest to lowest, and you're going to tell me what teams you think they are.
Can I do it blind anyway?
Okay, you want to do it blind?
Can I just tell you what because I...
Okay, well, start at the top, right? Write it down, because I know you're going to get like...
Yeah, so first is Ferrari at $2.6 billion US.
Okay. Oh, you want to do the numbers as well?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll give you the billions for it as well. So then you can work.
But it's Ferrari first. They're $2.6 billion, right?
Ferrari's first at 3.9 billion.
3.9.
Yeah.
I thought it was 2.6.
Okay.
Is there a team in there that is 2.6?
There is a team in there that's 2.6.
Okay, because I may or may not have seen this tweet.
I was hoping you had it.
Yeah, I think it goes... All right, so it goes Ferrari, then Mercedes.
Yep.
Then Red Bull.
Yep.
Then McLaren.
Yep.
Then I want to say Alpine, and it like drops off.
Then Alpine, yep.
Yeah, then Aston Martin.
Yep.
Then I want to say Haas is bottom, then Williams.
So, hold on. Who's bottom?
Haas.
No.
Oh, Williams bottom then.
Yep.
And then Haas.
Yep.
And then Kick.
Yep.
And then RB.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ruin everything.
I do ruin everything, yeah.
I'm not going to do any quizzes with you.
But which one was 2.6? Was that Mercedes that were 2.6? Because I saw like one of them is like there's like a big drop off, isn't there? There's like Ferraris that like running away with it, and then
no one's running away with it.
No,
Ferrari's 3.9 billion, Mercedes 3.8 billion.
Ah, yeah.
Then there's a drop off with Red Bull at 2.6, McLaren at 2.2. Then there's another drop off at Alpine at 1.4.
There you go.
Aston Martin at 1.37. Racing Bulls at 1.13. And then Stake are 900 million. Haas is 780, and the Williams are 725. So yeah,
I think Williams being lower than Haas is a bit off. Personally, just
I don't know.
Personal valuation there.
Yeah. Okay, Wall Street.
Anywho, was that the quiz? Was that literally all you had?
Yeah, that was it.
Okay.
You ruined everything. So...
I thought you had more. I thought it was going to be like, then name how many corners there are, or something like that.
No, I'm not that mean.
Is it 19? Is it 19 corners?
What, in Miami?
Yeah. Is it 19?
I have no idea.
Oh, it is 19.
Should we wrap this up?
Yeah, let's wrap this up. Enjoy the Miami Grand Prix. We talked about a lot of waffly bits and pieces, but we need to round something out with the podcast, don't we?
We do indeed.
Tell the ladies and gentlemen and boys and girls exactly who joined us yesterday evening.
So cool.
We actually spoke to an actual living and breathing driver, like a race car driver, who's
been behind the wheel of a Formula One car.
Been behind the wheel of an F1 car, an actual one, not on a simulator.
A race-winning one.
Yes, another. Oh, good point there, Ash. I also found out You know, when we asked him, like, we asked him a couple of questions, and we also said, like, oh, like, you know, who's, like, flex your contacts list a little bit, right? And he said who he has in his contacts, right? The only thing that I didn't research about Ollie Caldwell, who was the driver that joined us, right? The only page that I didn't look of his was on his X or on his Twitter, right? Guess who he lives with?
Frederick Vesti.
Frederick fucking Vesti. And I had no idea until today when I was trying to make a thumbnail for this episode. And I was like, oh my God, I wanted to ask him a couple of questions about Vesti. But the good news is that he has offered to come back. So
he was, honestly, like, I know we're here to promote the podcast. This is probably one of my favorite episodes.
He was annoyingly nice.
So much insight. He's amazingly nice. And the podcast came about because he's doing a really amazing thing for charity.
Absolutely, yeah.
So we'll talk when the podcast comes out. You'll understand more, and it'll be really good if you can donate, because it's for a really, really good cause. And he is doing an insane thing, an insane challenge. No matter how fit, and he's obviously super fit, being a race car driver.
Yeah,
this is an insane challenge that he's doing.
Yeah, absolutely ridiculous. So yeah, if you don't know what we're talking about, all will be explained in our next podcast episode. So what a lovely way to tease that. Yeah, so we obviously talked to Ollie we talked to him for about an hour about loads of stuff, his challenge that he's taking on, racing, and like just like mental health as well, which is really, really insightful. And so it's a really good episode. One of the ones where I said it before, it was a pinch me moment for me, absolutely. And he was genuinely really, really nice, like down to earth, just a normal 21-year-old bloke. Like, it was so odd, but comforting, but strange and amazing all at the same time. For me, anyway, it was just ridiculous. So go ahead. If you're listening to this during the Miami Grand Prix weekend, the episode's already live. So go to our socials, go to our Spotify, Amazon podcast, wherever it is you get your podcasts, your preferred podcast platform, if I do say so myself. And check the episode out. We'll also be checking up some clips and stuff like that on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, all that fun stuff. And if you're not following us on there, what on earth are you doing? Why bother having an Instagram account if you're not following us? You know, it's just pointless. We post memes about ugly Ferraris and stuff like that, so you're missing out. And apparently missing out on this awesome episode if you haven't heard about it already. I don't really know where else to go after that.
I think a goodbye. Enjoy Miami. And we'll see you post-Miami for a Miami debrief from both Formula One and Race Academy.
We will. Oh, God, I hope LL Cool J isn't there again this year. Jesus. Right. Cheers, everyone.
You know what? He did a good job. You stopped the hate. Right?
No, he did a good job. He did a good job.
Your part of the
ceremony was bad. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers. Bye.